Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a hot minute since I released a video, but today, in honor of Black Widow not coming out, I want to do something MCU related. So why not rank all 23 MCU films that we currently have? So right now, you guys see all the movies at the bottom and then my 5 tier lists. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the films, put them in the tiers I think they belong in, and then once I'm done with that, I'm going to put them in order of which I think they are better in, or the order they should be in each tier, and going from left to right on each tier is the order that they would be in my top 1 through 23. Yeah, 1 through 23 or 22 MCU films. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments, what your MCU ranking is. But yeah, let's get right into it. So the first film I got is Ant-Man and the Wasp. I think this movie is straight up unwatchable. I don't think a lot of the characters are great. I don't like Ghost. I don't like Goliath. I also think this movie suffers from handling too many characters, and I don't think the writers could do it. I don't like the Sonny Birch character. I don't think any of the storylines really go well together, because we have the Sonny Birch, we've got the Ghost storyline, and then we've got Scott trying to pretend that he's home in house arrest, and I just don't think it all works very well. The only thing I do like of the new additions are the Jimmy Chin character. I think Jimmy Chin or the Jimmy Chan, something at the end. Jimmy something is the new character played by Randall Park, and he's going to be in the new WandaVision TV show, I believe. So I really liked his addition. I thought the character dialogue was pretty good. I thought the jokes were still there, but I think this movie mainly suffered from writing. Next film I might get a little bit of slack for, Black Panther, and I'm going to put in good. I will not lie and say I didn't have the cultural impact that many others had with this film, and I feel like if I had that cultural impact that some people did, I would have it in amazing. But because I don't have that, I'm going to keep it at good. I think Killmonger is a great character. I think Black Panther is a good character. I think everyone was well casted. I thought the dialogue was pretty good. The only two main problems I have are, one, the CGI. Oh wait, no, 3 problems. One is the CGI. 2 is the final battle between Black Panther, Killmonger, and then all the stuff up ground with Shuri and them. And then the other thing I have a problem with is the character between Lupita Nyong'o and Black Panther. I don't really like, I can't say I dislike it, but I didn't really feel like a connection there. But other than that, I think the movie is really good. I thought it was well written and well directed. But yeah, let's move on. Let's go to Captain America, the First Avenger. I think it's a good film. I really enjoy this film. I thought it was a very good solo film in phase 1. It did a great job introducing Steve Rogers and Captain America and what his morals are and what his character is, or who his character is. I really like Red Skull. The phase 1 MCU films all kind of have the same problem. Their first solo films kind of have the villain just be the bad version of them pretty much. So I try not to go after the phase 1 films for doing this, because they're still trying to find their footsteps. But I really like this film. I really like the Bucky relationship, and that's why I put it in good. We got Avengers Infinity War. This is going straight to flawless. I think this movie did everything it did fantastically flawless, actually. I think that the writers just perfectly crafted 3 different storylines going on at once. We have the Thanos Titan story going on, we have the Wakanda storyline going on, and we have the Thor storyline going on. And they're all interweaving and interwoven together in such a fantastic way where I don't feel like I'm ever bored watching something on my screen. I think it all flows very well. The writing's fantastic. The directing is awesome. I just love everything about this movie. I also find this to be one of the most rewatchable MCU films ever. I never get bored. I always find something new with it. And don't even get me started with the ending. The ending did so much to the MCU, and it's awesome. So now we got the Captain America Civil War film. Straight and amazing. I think this film did a lot for the MCU going forward after 2016. It broke up the Avengers and created a lot of problems with people. And this movie is kind of the reason why Avengers Infinity War happened, the ending happened the way it did. because they were not fighting together. There was 3 different storylines and they were all fighting separately, and if they fought together, they might have been Thanos. But this movie might have been the reason why the ending or everyone got snapped. But yeah, I really like the marketing for this film too. We had Team Cap, Team Iron Man, who were you? It put fans one another, and between us, I was Team Iron Man. I know. Stop yelling at me. Nah, but I really love this film. The emotional third act was awesome with Bucky and Steve fighting Iron Man, and then we have the awesome airport fight scene. Next, we've got Captain Marvel. This movie is going straight into unwatchable. I truly dislike this film. I can't find any true enjoyment. I think the movie is ugly. The movie is poorly written. I don't think any of the action is written very well. And it has a very prominent message that I think kind of shoves down your face that I kind of dislike. I don't think any of the characters other than maybe Coulson and Nick Fury very likable. And this movie creates a continuity error. I don't know if people find it as major as I do, but we find out how Nick Fury loses his eye, and he says in Winter Soldier it's because he trusted someone, but in this film it turns out an alien cat just scratched it out. Yeah, I don't get it. I kind of dislike it, whatever. Now let's move on to The Avengers. The Avengers is fucking flawless. This movie did everything right. I love the Avengers movie. The very first one proved that comic book movies can do these giant crossovers and have it work story-wise and theatrically wise. And everyone was perfectly casted. All the chemistry was there. It was well written by Joss Whedon and directed by Joss Whedon. This movie was just a monumental thing in comic book history. Let's move on to the first Iron Man film. I'm going to put in amazing. I really like this film. It did a great job at introducing Tony Stark. Same problem, Phase 1 character. The enemy is just a rehash of our hero with Ironmonger. Other than that, I really don't have anything else to say. This movie's pretty straightforward, but it's a very enjoyable, straightforward movie. Guardians of the Galaxy is going straight to flawless. I love this film. There's nothing... This movie is also another monumental piece in comic book movie history. See how I say movie? Marvel took a huge gamble with this, and it paid off so well. This is our first true, I would just say, space opera. We've had Thor before, but it wasn't as big in the space universe as much as this movie is. This movie proves we can have a funny yet dramatic and colorful film all in one and not still tell a story on Earth. Everyone was well casted in this film. I don't think I really have to say that for much of the Marvel films, but this movie did so much right. Coming in next is Spider-Man Homecoming. I'm going to put this in amazing. This is such a great solo film for Spider-Man, first of all. I love Tom Holland. I love the Vulture character. I love Michael Keaton as the Vulture. He was a very good villain, I guess you want to say. He wasn't doing anything maliciously. He was just doing things to keep his family afloat. But he wasn't really like being a bad guy, like let's say the Kree or something, or Killmonger, something like that. I really like this movie. It's fucking fantastic. Let's move to Iron Man 2. Straight and unwatchable. Yeah, this movie's boring. This movie doesn't do very good things. The only things I can think of that are good are Tony Stark, the character development on the main characters. It starts to introduce Black Widow, and it really delves deep into who Tony Stark is and whether he wants to be his father or something better. Let's move into Thor: The Dark World. Another unwatchable film. This movie, I don't know what this movie was thinking when they were making it. But can we all believe that Thor: The Dark World was written by the same people that wrote Infinity War and Endgame? Yeah, me neither. Coming in at our next spot is Avengers Endgame. This might shock some of you, but I'm putting it in amazing. I think the movie does have some flaws, mainly when it comes to continuity and time travel explanation. This movie makes time travel unnecessarily complicated. I've watched this film about a few dozen times, and every time it goes to the Bruce Banner explaining time travel, I get so fucking confused. But honestly, this movie does everything right other than that. I think it's a nice payoff to three characters. Steve Rogers gets his happy ending with Peggy. Tony makes the ultimate sacrifice after making an ultimate sacrifice in the other Avengers movies, if you think about it. The first one, he goes into space to send the nuke, comes back. He tries to stop Sokovia from falling into the earth in Age of Ultron, survives. And in the third one, he gets stabbed by Thanos and survives. And then this time, he does die. But Black Widow kind of got the short end of it. But that's besides the point. But yeah, this movie was great. This might as well have been called Avengers. Here you go, fans. Here's everything we've got for you. Yeah, just so much memorabilia. I love this film. Coming into our next spot is Ant-Man. I think I'm gonna put it in good. I really enjoy this film. I think it's a good solo film for Ant-Man. Ant-Man is not a very... he's a well-known character, but the Scott Lang Ant-Man is not a very well-known character, or not as liked as the Hank Pym version. And this movie, I think, was completely written by Edgar Wright, or they used some story beats from his script before he was quote-unquote leaving for creativity reasons. But I think Peyton Reed did a decently good job at directing the film. I really like the action sequence, but this also suffers the same deal as Captain America, First Avenger, and Iron Man. The villain is the same exact thing as the hero. Let's go into Avengers Age of Ultron. This movie is okay. Not the biggest fan of it. I've rewatched it multiple times, dozens of times at this point. And the movie doesn't do anything for me. I feel like it's just a rehash of the first one, kind of. And they could have done a better job at developing Ultron with prior films, but I don't think the MCU is at that point where they start developing characters like that. But I guess you could say they were, because Thanos was in the first Avengers before this film. But yeah, they also introduced two characters and then kill one of them right off, which doesn't make too much sense. If anything, they probably should have killed Hawkeye or Black Widow in this film. Yeah, that's why I put it in okay, and it goes for a darker tone that I don't think necessarily works. Let's go down to The Incredible Hulk. I think this is an okay movie. I don't hate it as much as others. I think Edward Norton does a good Bruce Banner. I like the Hulk design, and I've always had a guilty pleasure for the Abomination villain, even though he is a rehash of the Hulk. I don't know, I just really like the design of the Abomination, but there's nothing really to say about this film in particular. It's a pretty basic, good, okay MCU film. Nothing too great, but nothing really too bad to put in unwatchable. Thor, I'm putting in okay. This film is kind of basic. When the film came out in 2011, it was kind of ahead of its time a little bit. This came out the same year as Captain America, I believe, maybe 2 months apart. But yeah, what the hell were they thinking about Chris Hemsworth's eyebrows? Yeah, neither do I. Next up, we've got Thor Ragnarok, straight up to flawless. Fucking love this film. And all three of the Thor films are really unique in their own right. They're all very different for better or worse reasons. But Taika Waititi makes this movie his own. The movie's gorgeous. It has some Planet Hulk storyline that I wish I could see in a solo Hulk film, but Universal will never allow that. So I can't wait to see what Thor Love and Thunder holds. Fucking thank you, Taika Waititi. Now, this is going to be a hot take for some people, but I'm going to put Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 in okay. I don't think this movie is that good compared to the first one. I think it misses a lot of the same beats that the first one has. This movie has a lot of the same like family emotional arcs and all that. Yeah, I like the music choices, but this movie doesn't really do it for me. Iron Man 3, I'm going to put in good. This film does a lot right, but does some things wrong. I don't think the endings of this film were correct. I don't like the plot twist with the Mandarin, and I don't understand why Shane Black decided to blow up all of Tony Stark's suits and give Tony Stark like a finality to him, like he was gone forever when he came back 2 years later in Age of Ultron. It was kind of confusing, but I also like how they added the PTSD from Avengers, the first one, when he went into the black hole or the wormhole and then fell out, gave him PTSD, deals with the whole film. I really like it. And this film really relies on Tony being smart and not using the suit, which I really like. Next film, I'm going to put, you know what, fuck this. I'm going to put the next 3 films in amazing. I actually already made this list or recorded this video, and I fucked up the audio. I'm sorry, Mom. But Spider-Man Far From Home, just as fantastic. I love the Mysterio villain. I love the Shield stuff. I love the Skrull stuff. I love it all. The one thing that I really dislike is the world travel part. I felt like Spider-Man has always been a New York City character, and the 2 solo films in the MCU have not really been New York City based. The first one mainly takes place in Queens and even DC for a portion of the film. This one is only in New York City for about the end credit scene. But for that, I don't want to give it too much. Let's move on to Captain America: The Winter Soldier. This movie was pretty monumental in what the superhero genre could do. This is more of a spy espionage film. That's why it's not in flawless for me. I'm not the biggest fan of spy and espionage movies. Not my guilty pleasure, but I know a lot of people like that, which is why it's in the flawless. But this movie does so much right. It gets the Captain America character spot on, gives us a lot more of Black Widow and the Nick Fury relationships, and I love it. Doctor Strange, when I was first making this list, I was debating if I want to put it in good or amazing, but after watching it a few more times, dude, this movie is amazing. Benedict Cumberbatch is Doctor Strange. His love interest wasn't so great in this film, but the villains were pretty good, and dude, the visuals were fucking fantastic. And I can't wait for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness next year, hopefully if it doesn't get released. Now that we got them all tiered, let's put them in order. Let's start with unwatchable. I would probably put Iron Man there, and then keep this here. I think Captain Marvel's a pretty shitty movie. Let's put that there. Oh, wait, what? There we go. And then let's make... I'm going to put Ant-Man there. Ant-Man there. No, Ant-Man there. And then I'm going to keep them like this. Let's move on to Amazing. Let's put Endgame there. Homecoming there. Civil War there. Here. No, here. No. Let's put that there. And then let's leave that there. Now for Flawless, kind of a hot take, I guess. But yeah, here we go. So the order from left to right would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then Amazing left to right, 5, 6, 7, like that. I'm gonna put a number on each of them just so it's easier for you guys to tell. But thank you guys for watching this video. Put down in the comments what your tier list for all of the MCU movies and your ranking is. I'm really curious. I hope you guys leave a like, comment, and subscribe. See you on the next one. Peace!